Well.
Are you going to control my muting? Are you going to unmute me?
Let's see. So make sure I can hear you. That might feel like that we're overproducing this, but we're also recording it. Oh, okay. It's supposed to be Lots.
We're kind of full of ourselves.
Yeah.
Kind of like the voiceover.
All right. Thank you guys for coming tonight. We are, like, it was scheduled on our GitHub page, but this meetup wasn't scheduled on meetup.com till exactly 24 hours ago. So thanks for coming. We've gone ahead and scheduled them through the rest of the year, so there shouldn't be any surprises. My name's Kuhl. I work here at Indatus, and I'm going to be talking about a package we just released this month. Does anybody recognize the artwork with that? So, who has played Guild Wars 2? Okay. I haven't. I Googled Guardian on Google Images and was like, yeah, that looks cool. Okay. So that is not a package logo or anything. It's just something fun to look at. What's that? It's got the logo. They get credit. So to understand, before I dive into what Guardian does, I kind of want to elaborate on why Indatus built it. So our objective with our deployments at Indatus is continuous deployment while maintaining control over the release of features. So that means that we're not working for weeks on weeks, and then boom, huge deployment to production. Everybody's like sweating because we don't really know what all is going to fail because there's so much code and so much happening in that deployment. The idea is we can deploy several times a week, hopefully, but not necessarily release features constantly in production, but allow marketing and other users to test those features out before we release them. And so our method of doing that is, right now we have two environments that share the production database. We call them production and demo. All production code is deployed to both environments frequently, so even features that are not necessarily ready, we may hold those back so they're not available in production, but we still deploy the code to production. But it's only available in demo. Our demo environment is accessible at a different URL, so users that want to access their production data through the current production can hit one URL, and users that want to access beta features and give their feedback or temporarily try something out can hit up the demo environment. Our server infrastructure looks a little bit like this. We have production web servers, production queue servers talk to the production database, and the demo web servers and demo queue servers also talk to the production database. And of course the URL to map around each one. So the demo web servers, they send, when they queue work, it gets processed in the demo environment. The only thing they share is the database, is the data. The problem with that is that Laravel only protects the production environment, and that functionality is housed in a trait. So Laravel has this feature where when you go to execute commands that could destroy, essentially, your production environment, like migrate refresh or migrate reset, that wipes your database and rebuilds it, it prompts you and says, hey, this is production. Are you sure you want to do this? And for us, we need that to happen in demo and production, not just production. And so Guardian does that. Installation is real simple. Open your composer.json and add it manually, or just run composer require. Register the service provider in your application config. It provides a configuration setting once in the project to allow a developer to override the production environment user protect console commands. So what you see on the left here is the actual code from Laravel, where it's hard-coded environment equals production. What Guardian does is it essentially replaces that and looks at this config value. So if you wanted to prevent destructive commands in your staging environment or any other environment at all, you can just add it to the array of environments. It also gives you a confirmable trait that you can reuse throughout your project that obeys this command as well. So here's a artisan command that shows if you just use the Indatus Guardian confirmable trait, and then you use it the same way you would use Laravel's confirmable trait, which is sampled right there. And it also gives you comfort in knowing that you or anyone else is going to be more unlikely to do something stupid in production and screw up your database.
Are all three of those commands protected right now?
Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah. Yes. And I've looked at ways to make it work with other packages that use the Laravel's confirmable trait, like if there's a way to do that. But the challenge with that, there are challenges with that. Still working on that problem. So here's an example of what that would look like. So in this case, I'm trying to migrate refresh seed on demo. Disclaimer, Indatus folks, this was not in Hive. This was in a separate application. And it's prompting me for confirmation with that. So in order to accomplish this, it was pretty tricky because you can't like extend a trait, but you kind of can. And so I thought that was worth talking about tonight. The way I did it was we made our own trait and included the method of Laravel's original trait. So if you see at the top of this code sample, it's including illuminate console confirmable trait as Laravel confirmable trait. So what this is doing is within this trait, I'll have access to the Laravel confirmable trait and its methods without having any name conflicts. And so use is what actually grants this trait access to those methods. And in this case, I'm saying I only want the confirm to proceed method from Laravel's confirmable trait. That gets really tricky because like with normal classes, you would just say like class this extends this, but it's not that simple. So I include it as parent confirm to proceed. Confirm to proceed. Does anyone have questions about that part yet? Okay. And then within the implementation, I access, within the actual implementation of this method, I access this parent confirm to proceed, which you can see right there next to the first return. And so what that's doing is that's calling Laravel's confirm to proceed from its trait. So I'm essentially wrapping Laravel's parent confirm to proceed with an extra step to determine if that prompt should be given. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions about that? Actually, my grandmother. And Time Warner. Yeah. So this is available on GitHub at Indatus/Guardian. That's it. That's all I got.
Laracon updates.
Yes.